Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Thursday, August 21st, 2014. Okay, yesterday there was some strange numbers on the petroleum report, but that didn't seem to bother the market. And the FOMC minutes, well, it was the usual babble, hocus pocus, mumbo jumbo that came out of them. And of course, there's a lot of people that wrote about it yesterday afternoon and overnight. So you're going to see some interesting articles posted today if you're looking for any. Of course, you don't really have to look for them. They're just going to, if you go to any sort of financial news, they're just going to plaster them in your face. Okay, so for today we have jobless claims. That should be interesting. Last week it was a little bit of a bump up. PMI manufacturing, Philly Fed survey, existing home sales, all are potential big hitters for today. Okay, across the pond. Over in Asia, we're kind of mixed and pretty solidly so. Except for Singapore, everybody is pretty much for sure in whatever direction they're going. If you can figure out what it was that I just said, I think I'm being trained by the Fed here. And in Europe, across the board, bullish and pretty solidly bullish. And I find this kind of interesting. Well, this is BS because they're going to anyway. The quantitative easing, QE or whatever, of course they're going to. But this is interesting. Russia shuts 4 McDonald's in Moscow. And then I saw an article yesterday that they're thinking about banning all car imports. So it's like, oh, is that how he's striking back at the sanctions? I guess it is. Anyway, that's just news, and we are more concerned about, we're more concerned about facts. Okay, in the U.S., we're looking at a bullish open, and gold is collapsing again. Probably because of the Fed and some other things that are going on around the world in the financial markets and with countries. And oil is down to 92.81, and I think that we might actually be getting below the 330 level here in central Ohio any day now. Okay, so what I have up here is a bull put on Baidu. And we did have we were looking for a 20 delta on this yesterday, and we did get the indicators. And this is a 20 delta that I was looking at yesterday afternoon, but I only did it as a simulated. And here's why. If we take a look at the chart, I was looking at this particular candle, this time period here for this red candle. We had the green up and green up here on both the stochastic and the MACD, and our moving averages, of course, are on their way up too. A little concerned about this price action, so I drew this channel out of these 3 candles here on the weekly chart, which is roughly a 3-week channel, and it looks like as though it is bending up, I guess you could say. But because IV, there's just no volatility in the market. If you look at Baidu, the IV percentile is 1.72. It's like you can't get much lower in its range over the last 52 or last year. I'm sorry, 52 weeks. You can't get. I mean, how low can you go? And because of that, yeah, you can still get a 20 delta trade, and you can still get the credit that you're looking for, but you're very close to the price. Here, you don't have much gap here, much room for error, and that is what's making me so hesitant right now. There's not a lot of room for error here, and there's really not many convincing trends, and I mean convincing like they were the first part of the year. So it's tough. It's really tough. And we had Tesla yesterday too. Let's take a look at Tesla. We were looking for a bull put on Tesla as well, and that was a setup condition, but we didn't get confirmation on MACD. We would actually seriously thinking about a 50 delta here, but you know what, we're still going to be thinking about it today. So it just didn't come through for us, so we are trying to be patient. We'll wait one more day and maybe a day after that. I'm not sure. It's already Thursday, so today is probably the last day of doing a 50 delta on this, unless I want to reach into next week's expiration, and you know I'm not excited about that. Okay, so those were the two for yesterday, and the rest were just kind of waiting. So we're going to run over and do our charts this way again today, because that helped us to get through the list a little quicker and kept me away from too many editorial comments. All right, so Apple, and we're looking for our targets, either white or yellow. So that's all we're going to look for. So Apple is not ready yet. Amazon is not ready yet. Not even sure if I'd actually do a play on this. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to go back to Amazon. Okay, so much for getting through this quick. And I'm going to draw a channel. I think I'm going to... let's do this channel here. That's pretty steep, isn't it? Let's see how it looks on the daily. You never know. And it might flatten out. So we have a channel there now, so we'll have something to look at here. Okay, moving on. Baidu. We have a channel there, and there's that. We already talked about that. I think I'm just gonna stay away from that. It's not enough movement there in price. And it's not even good enough for Iron Condor either. And same thing with Chipotle. I mean, there's really nothing there. Now we're near a setup, but not quite. There isn't anything there. If I zoom in a tad more, no, it's still very, very choppy here. I mean, when are you going to get in on this? Can you call a bottom? I don't know if I can. We might be able to call a bottom for a weekly time frame here, right here. But by the time this candle forms, it's almost too late. But it did keep running up. Yeah, I suppose we can stick with this. I'm going to back out again. Yeah, I'll stick with it. We'll see what happens. Costco's having a very nice run. When we were looking for a 20 delta, we may change this over to a 50 delta. As a matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll change this back over to a 50. And squish it down. Slide her up. And there we go. Now we're looking for a 50 again. And here, I mean, you can't get much lower than that. That doesn't seem right. 13% IV. You gotta be kidding me. But I guess it is right. Sad as it might be. Right. The Dow. Looks like it's climbing back and might be looking for a new high. Gold, I'm not even going to bother looking at that. Google. Popped out of the channel and may be heading back into it. I don't know. I have a 50 delta set up here because we are currently in an uptrend. So I'm looking at that, but really this channel, it may drop back into it. Only time will tell. LinkedIn. Ooh, LinkedIn may be giving us an opportunity. Okay, so strictly following the rules, we do want to do a 50 delta on this. We need to wait a little bit longer. We're not quite down there yet. So hopefully, even with the green candle yesterday, we still had two reds down. Red on stochastic and red on MACD. So let's see how that happens. And the reason why is it opened low and it didn't even get above the high from the previous day. Didn't even get above the open from the previous day. So that's probably why they're both red. NDX, NASDAQ 100. I'll slide this over. Don't really need to, but it just helps, I think, a little bit. So we're not ready there either. Netflix. Waiting on Netflix. Priceline. There's our simulated trade. It's a nail biter. Still not seeing any ready for prime time on Priceline as of yet. And the Russell actually was down a tad yesterday from its open. So we have a tiny little red candle there. And it looks like a hammer. Don't know what to do there with the Russell. We do have a target for a bull put, so we'll wait for that. A 20 delta. Probably have the same thing going on SPX. And our simulated iron condor is in deep doo-doo. When does it, I think it, does it expire? When does it expire? And where is it? Here it is. It's August 4, so it's actually this Friday. So that was kind of a dumb simulated trade, wouldn't you say? Not working out very well at all. And our target set down here for a bull put. Tesla. Tesla has given us, we are in setup mode here with Tesla still. And I think we mentioned that before. We're still waiting. And Visa, we took, we're looking for a 50 delta here. So that's where we are for today. Not much out there. Remember, we got one more day on Baidu. And I think that's it. Yeah. Okay. So that's it for today. Short and sweet. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.